Any binua, hey, Niroko, Sibiatija, Dovaroko, Sibiatija, hey, Niroko, Sibiatimu, Dovaroko, Sibiatimu, hey, Nimona, Tomagba, Tiri. Welcome to Sports Cruise Live on Mainland 98.3 FM. It is the Thursday edition, and you know what that means. It is Throwback Thursday on the station. So every song you get to hear in the course of the show this evening from 6 to 7 p.m. will be songs of the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and maybe early 20s. And let's just try and bring it home for the millennials. Welcome once again to the show. It's a Thursday edition, and in case you're just tuning in, this program comes up on the airwaves every Monday to Friday from 6 to 7 p.m. Your number one drive time sports show on radio in the city of Lagos. We make it hot, drip, news, analysis across all sports. Once again, you're welcome. My name is Jᴏɪᴏ, the host with the most, and I don't get to run this show alone. I've got my two round men. Of course, we're going to drive through everything you need to know in the world of sports today. Well, our games are already ongoing in the Conference League and the Europa League. Chelsea are leading by 3-1, all the way down after over 6 hours flight in Ostend. We'll talk about all of that on the show today as well. Almost an entirely new starting 11 for Chelsea tonight. But they considered first, but it's now 3-1. Let's keep our fingers crossed for that. We'll keep you more updates. Games were decided also in the Champions League yesterday. Manchester City. We're going to focus on Pep Guardiola today. Eighth loss in the last 10 games. 1 draw, 1 win, 8 losses. How do you put that together? Hey, Juventus have had 11 draws in all competition this season, and they play one of their best games in the Champions League night against Manchester City yesterday in Turin. We'll talk about all of that. Pep Guardiola thinks the team is doing well, they are good, he sees the results, but how do you balance it? Manchester derby this weekend again against Chelsea. So somebody said it could be a game that both teams will lose. And let's see how that will go. Yet again, this is the second time this season that Ruben Amorim and Pep Guardiola are going to be meeting. Remember, in Sporting it was a 4-1 in favor of Ruben Amorim. Let's see if he's going to do the double over Pep Guardiola this weekend. We've got so much on the menu tonight. I can tell you, it's good to have you join us on the show. You look, calm. Yeah. What's going on? How much more should they do GoFundMe for you to get it fun?
Well,
apart from that, I have his secret.
See, I have your secret today.
I have his own secret.
I can tell you, good game of football yesterday. For Barcelona, it was a povy 1-1, 2-1. And the point that mattered the most, Lamine Yamal is just in a world of his own. Man of the match performance yet again. And he looks to me like a 27-year-old in a 19-year-old body. I can't place him. Rafinha also is having the season of his life, getting in the goals and playing beyond the goals that he's scoring. His ball behind the line reaction is crazy. I mean, you look at what he did at Leeds, how he struggled. I imagine if he had ended up at Chelsea, it would have been a disaster, I think. But he's having a good time at Barcelona right now. But there's also Manchester City struggling to put a foot together. They played the Manchester derby this weekend. There's also Arsenal yesterday, Bukayo Saka. I mean, his numbers are crazy. 20 goals plus an assist in 21 games. Had not scored in the last 7 Champions League games at the Emirates Stadium. By the way, Arsenal played 6 games at the Emirates Stadium and they're yet to concede a single goal. I can tell you, what exactly is Barcelona's ceiling this season?
Well, good evening, guys. I think one of the problems I had yesterday, which I felt was a bit sour, was the fact that Lamine Yamal was having, as a 17-year-old, having to go through the doping test. I felt like, maybe we are taking things
post-match.
It's just 17-year-old, and when you are already subjecting a 17-year-old to doping test, and you're already telling him in his psyche that you don't think he's good enough to do what he's doing, that you think that he's enhancing his performance. And I think that's not a good way to go. If it's politics, I think that's a dirty one. I don't think a 17-year-old should be subjected to something like this at this. But
I think random tests are part of it. I remember there was a time I was watching an interview from Usain Bolt, and he says that maybe himself, alongside Lewis Hamilton and Serena Williams, will remain the most tested athlete in the world. I think it's a random thing.
I
think it's a random thing. As long as you follow under the professional rules,
I agree.
Then you should stand for it.
I feel there's a stereotype as well that also, surround.
Not color.
Not color.
We saw what happened with Pogba before Pogba was eventually every time he played for United, he was being tested.
Apart from color, there is a certain level of success you are saying that a lot of people will think that you.
Yamal is a kid.
Exactly, and that's why the eyes are on him. That's why the eyes are on him. That's why the eyes are on him. Because ordinarily you would not expect an 18-year-old to perform this.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, I'm not sure that's a difference. Lionel Messi was already the best footballer in the world at the age of 20, my friend.
That's 20. Yamal is 18.
How do you
play 17? No,
he's 17 as a matter of fact. It was 16 during the Euros.
So that is why I said I personally feel that regardless of whatever might happen, he still has a long career to go in. So if you think maybe he can't, if he's actually doping, I don't think this is second full season as a senior professional. I don't think would be his last if he's actually going into doping, because doping it gives sensation of like, you cannot go from it, and it reminds me of the dirtiest race in Seoul in the 80s at the Seoul Olympics, where Ben Johnson, apparently the all 9 athletes that won that race was eventually revealed that 8 or 7 out of the 9 were actually tested positive. But guess what? The person who picked the news from, who picked the heat, was actually Ben Johnson. I know what Ben Johnson said. Ben Johnson said he left Canada as a Canadian, and when he came back from Seoul, he came back and he was reminded of his roots in the Caribbean, and that tells you a lot. I don't have anything against testing a professional player, but I feel when you're already giving a 17-year-old that kind of treatment, he was being interviewed. He said he just wanted to go and ease himself, and they just picked him up and said that he has to come for doping. And to me, I feel that it's not because of it is a club that I support, but I feel he's just 17-year-old. I feel when it is subjecting a 17-year-old,
well, to me it is absolutely normal.
Like that, it's not just about normal or anything.
It's absolutely normal.
See, guys,
when you're subjecting it psychologically, that is just my own take. If you are to be an 18 or 19-year-old, I have
17-year-old. As long as you play with a 35-year-old, as long as you play under the same size of the pitch, as long as you play under the same rules, as long as a kid that is just a generational talent, is a 1 out of a billion stars out there, you can't take that stardom away from him. But the truth is this: if it is part of the rules of the game, I'm not sure if it is an entirely victimization conversation we can have. I think such can fly.
They have tested Messi, they've tested the old senior players. I will never bring it up. The only reason why we are bringing something like this up is because of he is a kid.
Okay, we're going to talk about that after the break. I was still going to take you through the result of games that were decided yesterday, also in the UEFA Champions League, and games that are currently ongoing and those that will be decided later tonight. Stick with us.
You're listening to Mainland 98.3 FM. The sound of Lagos.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dirty December is about to get dirtier. Come and party with your favorite DJs and artists on the 26th December 2024 as DJ Gabby Music Entertainment presents Lagos Breed Party Season 2. Date, December 26, 2024. Venue, Ambience, 8 to 10 Oba Akran Avenue, Ikeja. Time, red carpet starts at 8 p.m. There's something special for the first 50 people on that day. For table reservations, call 0706 163436 or 0901 986 3167. The Lagos Breed Party official sponsors are Rich Crown Hoard, Stumbras Vodka, and Alita Sparkling Wine. Supported by Nuga Concept Promotions, Mainland 98.3 FM, Goldmine, Unilag 103.1 FM, and Hit TV. Gate fee is free. The Lagos Breed Party. Lagos, let's party hard.
Party after party. Party after party.
Hey there! Yes, you! You just won 5,000 Naira cash! And you, sitting by the side, there's 1 month Showmax subscription to watch the Premier League waiting for you! You behind! Of course! You're not left out! How does 1,000 Naira airtime and 2,000 Naira Uber discount sound? All this could come true when you buy the No Unwrap and Win pack. Open it, look for a cube with a 6-digit code on its wrapper, text the code to 8011 and follow the prompts to stand a chance to win any of these instant brilliant prizes. Promo valid from July till December. Terms and conditions apply. Get extra value on the Knorr Unwrap and Win Pack. Knorr, eat for good.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dirty December is about to get dirtier. Come and party with your favorite DJs and artists on the 26th December 2024 as DJ 𝐴BBY Music Entertainment presents Lagos Breed Party Season 2. Date, December 26, 2024. Venue, Ambience, 8 to 10 Oba Akran Avenue, Ikeja. Time, red carpet starts at 8 p.m. There's something special for the first 50 people on that day. For table reservations, call 0706 616 3436 or 0901 986 3167. The Lagos Breed Party official sponsors are Rich Crown Hoard, Stumbras Vodka, and Alita Sparkling Wine. Supported by Nuga Concept Promotions, Mainland 98.3 FM, Goldmine, Unilag 103.1 FM, and Hit TV. Gate fee is free. The Lagos Breed Party. Lagos, let's party hard.
Party after party. Yeah. Party after party. Yeah. Party after
You're listening to Mainland 98.3 FM. The sound of Lagos.
Nostalgic feeling on radio. Introducing classic hits from way back.
Hello, my name is Godwin in Cruise on Mainland FM. God bless you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're welcome back to the show. I said it and I'll continue to say maybe the last edition of the show for the year. That will be a Tuesday because 1st of January 2025 it's a Wednesday. And maybe we'll just do the unthinkable. We'll just put on the mic and then you can't hear the kind of conversation we get to say when the mics are off. I mean, we had to get into that comparison between Lamine Yamal and Ansu Fati. I mean, Ansu Fati, for a player to get that kind of mention in a team where Lionel Messi was still there, it shows how such an amazing talent he is. But unfortunately, there's been injuries, and the injuries have not exactly, played a big role. It has played a big role in the trajectory at which his career had gone. He came to Brighton. He didn't exactly get the knob he was looking for. He said he didn't want to move out of Barcelona permanently yet. He got back to Barcelona. He was fit during the preseason. About the last 2 games towards the end of the preseason, he picked up a knock. He had to go back under the knife. And I mean, if it was maybe a Ramsey that is old enough, or maybe Eduardo da Silva that was old enough, you could manage that process, right?
Yeah.
But for a 17, 18-year-old that is already having that recurring injury,
he still remains Barcelona's youngest
goal scorer.
Goal scorer.
For Spain, still remains Spain's youngest goal scorer. So you look at that balance, and I totally understand where Akintayo is coming from. I think Lamine Yamal broke that record.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
So I understand where Akintayo is coming from, but again, the rules remain the rules. Nobody cares whether you are 15, as long as you're in the starting line. What happened at the Euros? Spain had to pay certain amount, I think 30,000 euros to the German
government
before they could allow him play, because from 6 p.m. you cannot be gainfully employed in
Germany.
Germany.
Yeah, in Germany. Exactly.
Once you're under 18,
under 18,
you cannot earn money from 6 p.m. in Germany.
And
under the law.
This was the same Yamal as well. I was also doing his assignments from school as well during the Euros.
So I understand where Akita is coming from. So I'm trying to go through the ranks. I'm trying to manage education. There's somebody somewhere is telling me, is questioning.
It was just a drawback. It was a bad. Grassi had a great game in his own standard.
Well, I think Grassi was just
also
too
17,
much for Kubasi.
The physicality.
He kept committing.
Yes, also 17-year-old Kubasi. We saw he had a good game, but
Kubasi was struggling against Grassi.
Pascal Gross had a fantastic game for
Borussia
Dortmund as well
yesterday after he switched from Brighton to concede yesterday.
It looked like every goal Barcelona scores.
Because I believe the problem with Barcelona this season so far is the fact of the injuries in that defense line, not having to rest. Not having to rest.
They have to force him. They have to even force him to
started playing
out.
with the mask.
Yes.
So you could tell, like, I think they need to be maybe the Araujo needs to come back sooner, and Christensen as well needs to come back sooner, just to have at least just to give them that breather and have some, because I think the latter stages or towards the end of the game, like I talked about yesterday, that I think Barcelona often concede, and we saw that very close for Stuttgart trying to Man City. It to me, I don't see it as a blip anymore. I think the pack of cards are already crashing. Unfortunately,
it's so sad.
Unfortunately, I did not expect it to be this bad, but honestly, it does not appear that there will be a change. And their fixtures in January, I can't list them at the moment, but they have Tottenham, they have PSG, and
they're starting with Manchester derby.
And guess what? I'm talking about January now. And guess what? They are playing PSG in January in their sixth game or seventh game.
Both of the teams that need to have a foot in.
They need that win. Both PSG and Man City need that win if they know that they still want to remain in the Champions. And guess what? We never can tell who and who will meet in the playoff. So everyone wants to finish in the top 8. And kudos to Saka yesterday. He had a brilliant game, and he was deservedly so the man of the match. And kudos to Arteta, showing that they do not need to rely solely on set piece to get the win. It was a fantastic win and a good response after the 1-1 draw in the London derby. And you just have to just give it to the new formats of the Champions League. It has given us beautiful games, and it has given us that unpredictability that we do not see in previous. Perhaps
look at RB Leipzig.
Yes,
look at PSV.
Perhaps next season, maybe the bigger boys will come into the fold. Maybe they're just trying to understand what's happening.
I think if you look at how the Champions League this season, I think it was a space a lot of people were not familiar with.
Yeah.
It looks like a case of I can win all of my home games, pick maybe a draw or a win away from home,
and then I'm qualified already.
Is guaranteed.
Group. I come in second. For the team that comes third, like Sevilla, for instance, I can drop the
We saw Barcelona coming from 7th position, now second on the log. Just tells you, and Arsenal
at some point were 13th after their back-to-back draw and loss against Atalanta and Inter Milan. They were 13th. Now they're third.
They moved to 10th.
No,
and now they're third.
Yeah, they moved to
10th. As at yesterday
winning the last game. They are currently sitting third on the log, and that tells you of the unpredictability of the Champions League. Even as it is, if Real Madrid are not careful, it's possible for them not to qualify. Same as Manchester City, if they're not careful, if the run keeps on going,
Manchester City as it is now, they cannot qualify automatically
at all.
They would have to go through the playoffs. Let's run through the group. Okay, let's first off run through the result of games that were played yesterday. As at now, Chelsea are playing in a minus 11 degrees right there. It's super cold. Kazakhstan is super cold at the moment. Well, let me take you through the result of games that were decided yesterday. Atletico Madrid 3-1 against Slovan Bratislava. Lille won against Sturm Graz by 3-2. AC Milan, Rafael was just unplayable.
He will be smiling and killing you at the same time.
I'm trying to understand what the manager will be feeling with all of the drama around him this season.
And that's why we are saying that Chukwueze might actually give Chukwueze up for loan by
January.
But they left it late yesterday against Red Star Belgrade, and Red Star Belgrade, they played a fantastic game yesterday. They were not affected by the noise of San Siro. They were there they came for the.
Did you see the quality of the equalizer?
Yes,
crazy,
honestly,
crazy cracker.
It was a great game in
Arsenal yesterday against Monaco. Arsenal still have one more home game. Their next home game is against Dynamo Zagreb at the Emirates Stadium. Then they will travel away to Girona in their last group game in the Champions League. They defeated Monaco yesterday 3-0. We'll come talk about that game very briefly. Bukayo Saka was the star boy. He almost got a hat-trick yesterday.
2 goals on
assist. Getting into that particular one. Benfica played a goalless draw against Bologna. Borussia Dortmund lost at the Signal Iduna against Barcelona. We already analyzed that game. Feyenoord won Sparta Prague as at 11 minutes into that game. Feyenoord were already leading at 2-0 against Sparta Prague. Juventus against Manchester City. We can't talk about that one very briefly as well.
Goals.
Boy, oh boy. Who the hell is Yildiz?
Brilliant goals.
Where is he coming from? Even Ryan Giggs had to tweet yesterday. Like he had to use the effort. Like who is Yildiz? That guy was phenomenal yesterday.
Apart from that, I also feel like Ḥoinsá was also a thorn in Manchester City side. I mean, the way he threatened the right side.
He's not used to the big stage.
He's not used to the big stage, of course. I mean,
Yildiz just came. He's not new.
He's not new to the big stage.
Yildiz just came through and he's just blazing everybody. It looks like this is probably going to be last season at Juventus. By the way, he looks like someone that is quite ambitious and I want to take a step forward. Well, for VfB Stuttgart, they defeated Young Boys by 5-1. Young Boys have truly been the whipping team in the Champions League this season. Fenerbahce lost at home in the Europa League against Athletic Bilbao. Jose Mourinho was red-faced yesterday. So games today in the Europa League and the UEFA Conference League. Often we play FCSB by 6:45. Ludogorets will play AZ Alkmaar by 6:45. Malmo FC against Galatasaray would play by 8:45. By 6:45. Olympiacos versus FC Twente would be by 8:45 as well. PAOK Salonic of Greece will play Ferencváros by 6:45. AS Roma at the Stadio Olimpico will play Sporting Club Braga by 6:45. Union Lone Golios will play against Nice also by 6:45. Victoria Blizzard will play Manchester United. This team list is out for Manchester United. Let me quickly run you through the players that will be starting for Manchester United tonight away from home. Well, there's Andre Onana in goal. He's considered 75 Premier League goals already and 119 in all competitions.
You know, sometimes I wonder the reason why the deputy goalkeeper in person of Altay, what's his name now? The Turkish goalkeeper is not being tried. And this is UEFA Europa League.
You play CSK Moscow, it's Onana.
It's Onana. You play FA Cup, it's Onana. You play the Carabao Cup, it's Onana. What exactly?
And you continue to concede goals, and his numbers are distasteful.
And even in the final goal.
And of course, we run through all of that. The final 3 for the national team and also be decided. There is the Ivorian national team for winning the AFCON. There's the Super Eagles of Nigeria, amazing AFCON day, and then of course there is the Samba Boys. That's the Bafana from South Africa.
Male and the female.
They call them the African Samba Boys. In the UEFA Europa League, there's also Mazaroi, there's Matthias De Ligt, there's Leandro Martinez, there is Marcus Rashford. Wow. And it's on the sub is wow. Okay, there's Lenny Yoro, there's Harry Maguire, there's Victor Lindelof, there's Mason Mount, there's Christian Eriksen, there's Manuel Ugarte, which I think Ugarte have been a good signing for
Man City.
There's Antonio, there's Alexandro Garnacho, there's Rasmus Højlund. I think they just rest some of these key players. There's also Kobe Mainoo. But why do you not raise Atia Abayinder? Why did you not rest him? Why does he have to, put Onana in goal again today? So that is the starting 11 for Manchester United tonight. That game will be by 6:45. By 9 p.m. there's Ajax versus Lazio, top of the table clash for that one. There's also Bodo Glimt against Besiktas by 9 p.m. There's Elfsborg versus Qarabağ by 9 p.m. There's FC Porto versus FC Midtjylland by 9 p.m. And of course, Lyon would host German, club side Eintracht Frankfurt by 9 p.m. There's Israeli champion Maccabi Tel Aviv and RFS by 9 p.m. There's also Rangers versus Tottenham Hotspur, big game tonight for Ḥoinsá Postecoglou. Since he won Manchester City away from home at the Etihad Stadium by 4-0, he struggled. He's lost 2 and won only and drew 1 in the last 3 games. Such an inconsistent side. Real Sociedad and Dynamo Kiev will slug it out by 9 p.m. There's also Slavia Prague and Anderlecht by 9 p.m. Well, games are already going on. The UEFA Conference League, that is where Chelsea plays. The game against FC Astana has been decided. 3 3-1 in favor of Chelsea. The first goal of the game was scored by Maguire, according of Pedro Neto's assist in the 14th minute. Gueye also got his double for himself, and of course Vega got the third one in the 4th. Was scored by Thomas Voss from Kevich Balotel's assist. All of those goals came in the first half, and of course 3-1 it ended in favor of Chelsea. Still yet to lose a game or drop any points. Kov versus Real Betis 6:45. There's also Dynamo Minsk versus Line, and by 6:45 there's FC Copenhagen versus Hearts. By 6:45 there's FC Noah versus Apoel Nicosia of Cyprus. That is the club of our own goalkeeper, let me say, maybe not forgotten goalkeeper, but of course our former number 1 choice goalkeeper,
World Cup winning goalkeeper.
Where did he
he won it at Moshood Abiola Stadium against Ghana.
There's also Fiorentina versus ALASK by 6:45. There's HJK Helsinki versus Modoglins by 6:45. There's Istanbul Besiktas versus FC Hoffenheim. Also, all of those games will come by 6:45. There's also Omonia Nicosia versus Rapid Vienna. There's also Shamrock Rovers Conference League.
Shamrock Rovers of Scotland.
Shamrock Rovers versus Borak Banja Luka. All of that game by 9 p.m. Those are the games to be decided. Also, in the UEFA Women's Champions League, there's Bayern Munich versus Juventus at the Allianz. And that is where the women's team play for Champions League night.
Arsenal as well.
Exactly. There's also Valerenga versus Arsenal. Yes, Valerenga. That almost like the whipping team in that side. They have only 1 point. Only 1 point so far. They've played 4. They've lost. They've not won any. They've drawn 1 and they've lost 3. They've conceded 7 goals already.
Chelsea women as well are also doing very well. They won yesterday against 20 to maintain their unbeaten start as well. 6-1 ended 6-1. So I mean, they've been really performing the UEFA Champions, UEFA Women's Champions League.
For the Juventus women, they played 4, 1-1, drawn none, and lost 3. They have a -6 with 3 points. It looks like it's a team for Arsenal and Bayern. Arsenal still playing. They played their last 11 games with an acting manager, and they've gone 8 games in the league and 3 in the Champions League.
That was after the manager departed.
Unbeaten so far. There's also Bayern topping the group, 3 wins, 1 draw, no loss, 11 goals scored, and 3 conceded. So they've got a +8 with 10 points. Arsenal second. They've had 3 wins. They've drawn none. They've lost 1. That's their only loss is against Bayern. They've scored 11 goals. They've conceded 6. They've got a +5. They sit second with 9 points. I have a feeling that they could top tonight if Bayern fails to beat Juventus and Arsenal wins Valerenga women's team. So those are the games that we're going to enjoy tonight. But let's go back to one of the key games yesterday, which is Arsenal Monaco. And I'm going to start from you, Agbatomi. Arsenal, for me, had come up with some different level of inconsistency, right? And you wonder if they were able to maintain that momentum of last season. Maybe by now they should be where Liverpool is. If you have a team that you lost the league title to with 4 points, then the following season with 2 points, you wonder why. Why not? If the team is messing up and we're not doing too badly, I think Arsenal have had their early struggles, and maybe it makes sense the time the struggle came. Last season they had back-to-back losses, and their season ended both in Europe and in England. Against Aston Villa, they lost that game at the Emirates Stadium. Against Bayern Munich, they also lost. They got knocked out in the Champions League, and by losing the league to 2 points, you wonder if they had won the game against Aston Villa at the Emirates Stadium, perhaps they would have won the league. Maybe. But at that time, you look at Arsenal this season, since their captain returned, Martin Odegaard, they've drawn only 1 game, which is against Fulham. They won against Inter Milan that they lost. He just came in about, I think, like 7 minutes to the end of the game. But for every game he started, they've had 4 wins and 1 loss. They're trying to be regular home and away, and then it gets to knock out. It could go either ways. Yesterday against Monaco, they struggled at some point. Gabriel Jesus, he had not scored a Premier League goal since January. Well, I think he's still better than Jack Grealish, by the way. Jack Grealish had not scored a goal in 2024 in 44 games. £100 million striker.
Savigno is there to also get a goal as well.
Savigno is a new season signing, so you may want to think that he's trying to set exactly. But Agbatomi, How far do you think Arsenal can go in the Champions League this season?
Well, first of all, Kwame, I really believe that you really have to let go of the past, first of all. But secondly, as well,
let go of which past?
You have to let go of the past because you constantly keep mentioning the fact that Arsenal's season was derailed due to the back-to-back losses.
No, that's fact, man.
That's what I'm saying. That you have to let go of the past.
Why? Their numbers.
You let go of the past.
Analysis is not on what is coming.
It's
what has happened.
I know. That's why you have to let go of the past, Kwame, because it looks like you are not letting go of the past. But let's just leave it at that. Let's just see what that side of Kwame. I think Arsenal needs to focus on either winning the Premier League or winning the
Are you joking right now?
Yeah, I have my reasons.
If they do that, they're not going to win anyone.
Kwame, no. Why is this? Kwame, we take a look at the squad depth of Arsenal. Arsenal don't have a large squad. If we take a look at it, by the way. You take a look at the defense, apart from Saliba, Gabriel, Kiwior, you also take a look at Calafiori as well. 4 centre back.
Where did you put Jᴏɪᴛ?
Jᴏɪᴛ is not a centre back, he's a right back. I said centre back.
Okay.
Yeah. You also take a look at the midfield, Kwame. Jorginho, Odegaard.
He's experienced. Jorginho is experienced.
I'm not talking about the experience of Kwame. I'm talking about the squad depth, not the players themselves. They don't have the squad depth to compete for 2 huge tournaments. And I'm going to give you another example. Yes, I know what I'm saying. Now, when Liverpool,
easy.
You can be looking at your whichever way he wants to. I remember when Liverpool won the UEFA Champions League back in 2019.
Thank God to Dembele.
When they won the UEFA Champions League back in 2019, Okwemi, at the point Liverpool, despite the fact that they pushed Manchester City down to the last day of the season, Okwemi, they knew that they couldn't compete rather in 2 tournaments with that squad, and that's why they had to let go of the Premier League. Now, fast forward as well to 2020.
I'm not going to sit here and imagine like a team would deliberately let go of the Premier. I don't understand what you mean by let go. If it is those, hang on. If it is those cup competitions, we've seen sometimes Manchester City having to sacrifice the cup competitions. Even under Arsene Wenger, he will just put in all of those as small boys to go on with the cup competitions. But
that is where
why would you?
That is where I'm going to, because I remember during Wenger's time, he never took Carabao Cup serious. I think the manager that took Carabao Cup serious in this country, that made everyone realize that this is also a silverware, was Pep Guardiola, because when he won it 4 times on the bounce.
People started
that was when, because he focused. Because Arsene Wenger, they just put in the
players they want to send out in January loan.
Just let them get game time. Players they know that they will not get the game time during the regular season in the Premier League or in the Champions League. And guess what? What did it turn out for Arsene Wenger? How many trophies did he get to win at the end of the day? Okay, in as much as I can understand Tommy's view of just, since you have a leaner squad, or since you have a lean squad, why don't you just channel your energy on a particular?
I think that worked best for them. I think that
but what I would say, I would say 2 things, and the first one is nothing is cast in stone.
Exactly. How do you know which one to prioritize and which one to
of all defenders?
The second one is like what Pep Guardiola says, that the more you have the games, the more your rhythm is built. Because when you have more games to play, if you play for
and
example,
you're lucky that you don't have injuries, if you play for
example on Saturday
and you play on Wednesday and play on Sunday,
it helps with the rhythm. Because the rhythm, now when you have to play, let's say for example you play on Saturday and the next time you are playing is on Sunday, the rhythm is not there. Because players that play in maybe 3 days, 4 days
that
apart,
is what makes Man City good, because they're consistent.
And that's what has propelled Manchester City to be one of the great. If you are a big team, the big team, it means that I don't know if Agbatomi knows a simulation game called Football Manager. If you play a Football Manager, when you get to a certain level, if you have been with the club, when you get to a certain level, and if your club, for example, that is competing, the management, for example, the owners of the club, they want you to compete for every tournament. There is nothing like prioritize 1 for 1. The only time you can prioritize 1 for 1 is perhaps maybe when you look at the injury of, if you have an injury list and you feel like, don't let me just, if it's a Carabao Cup and you are challenging, maybe you have a point or 2 point difference
in the
Premier League, and look, you know what? Don't let me
I don't want to take
sacrifice
this risk.
Let me just.
Akitayo,
where you can sacrifice. But I don't say we saw what happened with Trent Alexander-Arnold. He talked about Liverpool winning the quadruple last season after winning the Carabao Cup. They could guess what they did. They don't say that because of winning the Carabao Cup. Let's say let us not play well in the FA Cup. Let us not play well in the Champions League. Let us focus on.
Liverpool won just one trophy last season. They chased the quadruple last season and they won just one trophy.
Exactly, because that is the mentality of a big team.
Hold on, guys. Agbatomi. Now, I don't know if I'm the owner of a club or I'm the owner of the club. And then I'm paying these players huge amount of money. And I'm coming, Akitayo, and I'm paying the players huge amount of money. I'm breaking the bank to pay the manager. The fans are buying season tickets, set of the most expensive.
I even hired a set piece coach.
Exactly, they are getting all of the things. The stadium is getting 60,000, 65,000 capacity.
It's one of the most expensive
season tickets.
Arsenal's
season
ticket is one of the most expensive in Europe.
Yes. So I'm going to wake up and face the fans and say, guys, because we've not won the league title in 22 seasons, I want to leave the Champions League. And the Champions League is even easier to win than the league.
It's a cup game.
Some teams.
It's a cup game.
Some teams can help you eliminate stronger opponents.
Exactly.
Yeah. That is the league.
You're not understanding what I'm trying to say.
Make all of us understand.
What I'm trying to make you understand is the fact that the squad depth of the squad that Arsenal has at the moment is not capable of competing for two big tournaments.
Let me ask you.
For Arsenal's defender, Ben White is out injured. Gabriel Saliba, that's going to be next year. Gabriel Saliba is also out injured.
He's coming back.
Is a doubt for the match this weekend.
Ben White had a surgery.
Ricardo Calafiori as well is also out. We also have Oleksandr Zinchenko as well, who is also out as well.
All of those guys are knocks. They are knocks.
Yes, but you know when they're going to be coming back, Okwemi. Apart from the defenders, Okwemi, we also saw it as well when the captain of the side, Martin Odegaard, was also out injured. Of all the games that
I think Arsenal fans need to call in and
wait. Of all the games that Arsenal won, Okwemi, they didn't win convincingly. And that's the truth.
They win, they no win.
No. See, there's a way Arsenal play when Martin Odegaard is playing, is on the pitch of play, and that's what I'm trying to say. The way Arsenal played without Martin Odegaard is very, very different to the way Arsenal will play normally.
I will ask you
now,
apart
from that, and it looks like Arsenal are a weak link without Martin Odegaard. Now imagine a scenario without Martin Odegaard, okay? Imagine a scenario whereby Martin Odegaard is out. Maybe due to a long-term injury.
Akitayo is okay. I'm going to ask you guys one question. And it's a straightforward question. What tournament would you think Arsenal should prioritize, Agbatomi?
Okay, the Champions League.
So, hang on. That's his opinion.
That's his opinion.
Akitayo, let me allow you align with Agbatomi's school of thought. Let's just assume that you also agree that.
Conceding.
Yes. Let's just agree that. Let me veto you. Let me impose it on you that you've agreed that they should prioritize. What do you think they should prioritize? Akitayo, what do you think they should prioritize? They're still in the Carling Cup. They're still in the FA Cup. They've got the Champions League, and they're doing well in the Champions League. And of course, in the Premier League, they're not so far from, the table.
Guys, I want to say something.
No.
Let me just say something. Okay?
No.
Okay.
It's 0913-600-0410. I know a lot of people want to join the conversation. Uche, straight to the point. 1 minute.
Okay, good evening.
You're welcome.
Okay, I want to ask you this question. As Arsenal now, if they go trophy-less this season, will you be surprised?
I know Arteta will not give them any glory, so I won't be surprised.
So for the Champions League, where
Uche is the
will go no.
When John go mature, we consider it of being a big side and a top European club. You would have to have enough squad. Maybe this is when you appreciate what Chelsea is coming up on board.
Yeah.
Chelsea have not registered Cole Palmer for the Conference League, and it looks like that decision and sacrifice is paying off on them in the league. They played away tonight, and they've won away from home, and they changed almost the entire starting 11. Let's talk to Yinka Wale.
My brother, good evening.
You're welcome.
Good evening, Chief.
Yeah, I thought I heard Agbatomi say William Saliba is injured.
Yes, he's injured. No, William Saliba. Gabriel
is not injured.
Gabriel is injured.
He had a bit of
it's enough, and they said to take him out.
He will be back. He will be back this
weekend.
It remains to be seen.
Possibly.
Yeah. Now
come weekend. So I don't think Arsenal need to prioritize any of the tournaments. I think they should go for all of them.
Okay.
Whatever comes at the end of
they should hold on to it. What's the? I'm coming. What's the point prioritizing when there's no guarantee of anything? Let me ask you guys a straightforward question. We saw Jᴏɪṛ Oᴘᴇɪᴜ yet again struggled. He had the opportunity of leading the line. He had chances upon chances before he gave the assist to Bukayo Saka's goal. He's not had a goal since against Nottingham Forest in January. This is December. There's also Kai Havertz that could disappear in games. Against Fulham, his rating was less than 5/10. He was nowhere to be seen. Yesterday, he shone like a star at the big stage. January is coming. How well do you think a striker would help Arsenal's cause this season, Akitayo?
Well, they can't bring in anyone this January.
They can't.
They can't.
Why?
And why do I say they can't? In terms of the striking position, is who wants to let go of their striker?
Top striker.
So you bring in the money, they're ready to let him go.
I don't think every serious club will let go of that big player.
It's just like saying
except you sign him and keep him there till the end of the season.
If Arsenal let them bring 1 billion for Newcastle,
they will not sell it
because they want to ruffle shoulders
and
with
get
the
back
big boys
into the Champions
and get back
League.
into the Champions League. They've seen what Aston Villa are enjoying currently this season. They knew what they enjoyed, and I feel like if Newcastle should be in this format, or in this new format of Champions League, I believe they will go far because this format will actually suit them.
Last season, what happened to all of their home games in the Champions League?
That is what
one win, one draw.
That is what because they had to play with the big boys, having to play home and away.
That's what gets in Champions League.
This time around, in the new format,
they could be lucky.
They could be lucky to get
teams like Brest,
and even the big boys might not actually turn up. But what I'm saying, but where am I going to on this issue of Arsenal is this? When you are a big team, you do not say let us prioritize. And why do I say that they need to win the Premier League ahead of the Champions League is the possibility of winning the Premier League is higher than the possibility of winning the Champions League.
That's not true.
And why? Let me finish. My point. And why? You are talking like you're saying that's not because you're a Liverpool fan. I'll tell you the reason why I said so. And the reason why I said so is when it comes to the knockouts proper, it could go either way. Any silly thing can happen. It could be a penalty. It could be.
That's why it's easier in the Champions League.
No.
Other teams can help you eliminate stronger opponents.
The Premier League is a 38 game competition.
The way it is easier for you to win is also the way it is easier for you to lose. We saw what happened with Real Madrid and Man City last season. Man City played their hearts out against Real Madrid at the Etihad. Guess what? The only chance or the only shot on target that Real Madrid had in that game was the goal they scored as early as the 11th minute. Guess who ended up winning the game? Real Madrid. And how did they win despite them even losing the first penalty? Man City ended up losing 2 penalties consecutively.
That's why it's easier.
If you win 15 games, I don't agree with that. If you win 15 games in the UEFA Champions League, you've become the winner. 15 games.
You said you win 15 games. Now you are winning the 15 games. This time around, it is not about points. That is the difference between the Premier League and the Champions League. Now, if Arsenal are able to get a 1 point, that 1 point matters a lot. Unlike when the Champions League, when it gets to the knockout stage, whereby it is no longer about points, it is about the wins. And now you can play beautifully well, and you end up playing a draw, win your own.
In Arsenal's
issue, you even tell me that it is easy to win?
In Arsenal's issue, in Arsenal's issue, they are yet to win the Champions League.
Because they are yet to win the Champions League.
If you take a look, if you take a look at the English Premier League from first position down to 6th position, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, Man City, Nottingham Forest, Aston Villa, Arsenal are the only club that are yet to win the Champions League.
That's the banter.
That's cheap banter. See, it is not about when to win the Champions League. It is about when you are going to win. It's not about the time. See, let me tell you something.
Is it 2034 you want to win Champions League?
See, as long as football remains football, as long as this life remains this life, there will be a point in time, except maybe Arsenal eventually maybe they go into defunct. In as much as they do not go into defunct, there will still be a point in time where Arsenal will win in Champions League. We saw what happened with Chelsea. Look at the billions of dollars or billions of pounds that Chelsea spent before they were able to secure their first Champions League. We saw what happened with Manchester City. Look at the billions of pounds. Look at how many times they were able to be in the semi-final, quarter-final before they were able to get the silverware. They even got to the final once and they did not win it. when you look at the trajectory of teams that have actually won the Champions League before, you will see that most teams do not win the Champions League on their first stint in the Champions League final. They end up losing the first Champions League final, and they eventually, maybe the next time they get to the Champions League final, they're able to win, or they might not be able to win, like the case of Juventus, where they have been unfortunate. Look at Juventus for instance. Look at how Juventus have been. Look at how you might say that it's easier. Has Juventus ever won the Champions League in how many years? That tells you. Look at how many times. Let me finish.
Juventus have been winning the Serie A for over how many consecutive years?
But they have not won the league in 22 years.
How many years?
That proves my point.
That's what I'm saying. The Champions League should be the focus for Arsenal, not the English Premier League.
That Arsenal don't have this squad. Yes. For instance, Ben White is naturally a centre back. Then let's look at it this way. There's a Timber that plays in the right back. A fit Tomiyasu will be an added advantage. With James Saliba and there's Gabriel Maguire. And on the left back, there is a certain Tierney. There is Zinchenko. And there is a certain Calafiori. Yes. Then, talking about the midfield, there's Jorginho, there's Partey. I can't lacking it. That
is attack.
Then just get a striker. Then Adva can move back.
Not just a striker that will give you goals.
Yes, this Nottingham striker, Nottingham Forest striker.
Chris Wood.
Anything can. See, let's get
as a backup. It won't be bad.
If you have a midfield that is supplying the attack, that Chris Wood. Yes, go for Chris Wood. If Arsenal go with £50 million, do you think Nottingham Forest will not let go?
I'm not even sure if Chris Wood. I'm not sure if Chris Wood is going to be that expensive.
They can even come to the NPFL here to get Sikri Alimi from Remo Stars.
Rest, my friend.
The only way they could get Chris Wood for that amount is because when you're coming, because now when you're coming for January, and that's why
they know that you are desperate.
They know you are desperate, and that's why I said Arsenal would not sign a striker.
Let's talk to Sebo. Hello.
It's a lie. Chris Wood is a lie.
Chris Wood.
Any striker. Uncle, when the tortoise talk, it's a lie. Uncle, you can lie. Any striker can. How?
That's their mentality now. Chris Wood.
It's Vegas. Vegas is not a striker. They should go and get Vegas now. See whether they go see
But apparently Chris Wood is not a bad striker.
Yeah, he's not a bad striker.
Chris Wood
at least he'll give you 5 goals in a season.
That's an insult.
How many goals does he?
Before Nottingham Forest, do you know the numbers for Chris Wood?
Abonli.
Do you know the numbers for Chris Wood?
The only reason why he left
Newcastle. Do you know the numbers before this season at Nottingham Forest?
Agbatomi, calm down. Don't hear. Calm down. Do you think a Chris Wood that is into double figures at Forest would not get more goals at Arsenal?
Okay.
Remove Salah, which I don't even think is a striker. Which Liverpool striker is better than Chris Wood? You want to get yourself dragged, right?
Okay. Before last season.
Hang on, we have a caller. Hello, good evening. Hello. Oh. Hello.
Hello.
Please put down the volume on your radio set, or you turn it off completely. Okay, this person.
He has the start. He already lit out.
Okwemi. Before last season, Okwemi, you take a look at 2022, 2021, 2020, 2019, Okwemi. Chris Wood didn't score up to 15 goals in the Premier League. What are you talking about?
Guys, hang on. How many goals does Chris
Wood? Why you calling Chris Wood like as if he's Victor Osimhen?
Agbatomi, calm down. How many goals does Chris Wood have this season already?
He has 15 goals in all competitions.
This season?
Yes, this season, I think.
How many goals does he have this season? For Nottingham Forest.
For Nottingham Forest, he has 10 goals rather.
10 goals.
10 goals, yes.
Apart from Salah, who is the highest scoring Liverpool striker?
Highest scoring Liverpool striker.
Apart from Salah. Salah's the striker.
And you know what?
So Wood is better than all of your strikers. So don't bring that.
Leave my phone.
Talk about the numbers that Wood had in Burnley.
Don't mind him.
The numbers he had at Burnley.
Yeah.
12 goals.
The other season called.
2 goals for Newcastle 2021-2022. 2 goals.
The only reason why he had the 2 goals and 3 goals
his first season at Nottingham Forest 2023 season, he only had 1 goal in the English Premier League. What are you talking about?
How many goals does he have?
1 goal. He has 10 goals.
10 already?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. He's inconsistent. Is it Chris Wood that's going to perform for Arsenal?
At what age?
How old is Chris Wood Oᴑᴜᴜ?
Are you asking him? You are with your phone now.
How old is Chris Wood?
He's 33. I'm 33.
And then you have a
24-year-old
striker in Liverpool that has only 3 goals.
Who is the striker?
How many goals does Luis Diaz have?
Luis Diaz is the striker.
How many goals does what's your ponytail?
Please just leave that.
How many goals does Nunes have? How many goals does Nunes have?
For a player that Liverpool signed because he just had just 1 billion season. For a player that was playing for America, see, I don't even want to talk about the nonsense that these Liverpool supporters used to talk about. We are not talking about that.
Even Liverpool fans don't regard Darwin Núñez as a striker anymore.
We are not talking about Chris Wood being the messiah for Arsenal. We are talking about a makeshift,
a fixing.
See, just someone that
can give you that time moment.
He's good with the hair. He has the link up play. And I believe
you. As an Arsenal fan, you want Chris Wood to come to Arsenal, and you think he will do the magic.
For a makeshift to the end of the season.
Expecting a magic.
So what are we talking about?
If Chris,
do Arsenal need a striker or a perfect striker?
You don't have to shout.
He needs more rice.
Wait, you don't have to shout.
He needs more rice.
Gabriel Jesus have not scored a league goal since January.
And he plays.
He starts games. If Chris Wood comes in, even if he doesn't start games,
he doesn't have to be a defensive attacker.
He gives you those goals.
He doesn't have to be. He doesn't have to mark.
Don't take this argument.
Especially for a club like Arsenal that goes through corner, Chris Wood will score goals.
That one is just clicking in your own head. That guy is good in the head too.
Don't try this at home. That argument, don't try it at home. Come to the end of the show today. These guys didn't allow me rest today. You made me yell so much, but of course, that's what you get on Sports Quiz Live from Milan 98.3 FM. The program returns tomorrow, same time, same station, Friday edition. We'll certainly have a lot to discuss about the CAF Awards tomorrow by 6 o'clock. Like we said, Nigerian national team Super Eagles have been nominated. They made it in the final 3 are shortlisted for the CAF National Team of the Year. There's also Ivory Coast, there's South Africa, and of course there is the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Big shout out to the guys for coming through. Tomorrow is Friday. The show returns. My name is Oᴑᴜᴜᴜ, the host with the most, Akinode. Join us tomorrow. Bye for now.